which is literally full of SIM cards. And I used to not sell just the SIM card itself, but I used to sell the number. So the more cooler the number, the higher the price of the SIM card. So sometimes I used to get up to £5 a SIM card. So I used to go home with this, with like loads of change in my hand at the end of the day. I used to count them and sit there and count it. And then people used to be like, okay, how much do you make in a day? And I'm like, okay, on a good day, probably 20 quid. On a bad day, probably like 10. And so on a really good day, probably about 50 quid. And it's funny that, because most people actually get paid £50 a day in today's world. That's like pretty much minimum wage, or living wage as they call it. So that's at the age of 11. When I got to year 9, that was when I kind of started going for the big money. So that's when, who's had a water damaged phone here? Ever put your phone? So what I used to do was, I used to find all these water damaged phones from like eBay and places like that. Then I used to line them all up on a radiator. Take the batteries out, line them all on a radiator. And then I used to buy the new batteries, which are like a £5. I used to buy the new charger, and I used to buy the new box for it. And then what I used to do is I used to get them to start working again. And these things that I paid £15 for, back then was the W8 10Is and the, I don't know if you remember them, the Walkman phones. Anyone remember this Walkman, first Walkman phones? Those are the phones that used to be there. And I used to box them up, make them look brand new. They were water damaged, but they still worked. Nobody knew that, but they looked pretty much brand new after I was done with them. And then I used to sell those phones up. And on average, on a weekly basis, I took home between £200 to £300 a week. And just by selling phones, which were water damaged, and nobody knew they were damaged, but I made them look good. So that was that. But this is where it gets a bit deep and a bit more dark. So my parents didn't really know who I was. I was a rebel in the family. There's 7 years difference between me and my older brothers. My niece was born when I was 7, so there are loads of kids after that. So I never had that attention and that love from my parents, from my siblings. I never knew there were people around me my age. So I kind of then trying to get attention in different ways. I got to the age of 16, and when it came to that college point, I was doing sciences. I did fail my English GCSE, by the way. So I'm not as clever as you guys. So English GCSE, I failed that, went to college, did BTech for a bit, and then I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So as you go home and you say to your father, as you do, you say, Dad, I'm going to start my own business and I'm leaving college. That didn't go down too well. So I was made homeless for a period of 3 to 6 months. So during this homeless period, it was like, I went from this shy kid who was great with people, but was still shy and introverted, that has never really been out on the streets, that has never really been out, on his own in that way. So I had to survive on myself. I had to survive on instinct. I had to kind of do whatever it takes for me to just, live another day in my life. And I used to sneak in the back of the shisha lounges, which was a popular thing in Birmingham. So I used to sneak in the back of the shisha lounge, and I'd put this electric heater on, and I would sit there and I would go to sleep. And then the owner realized that I was staying there for a period of time, and he said, look, come and stay with us, but I need you to work for me. So I was like, brilliant, I'm not going to say no. I didn't know what the terms were. But I ended up working 22-hour days for a roof over my head and food on the table. No money. So 22-hour days. Cleaning, opening the shop, running the business, going from doing the stock check, wiping all the sofas, kicking out customers who are fighting, all sorts. So I had to deal with all that at the age of, just when I was doing that homeless period. And then I realized that this is actually, I felt more free at this point. I was actually free. For the first time in my life, I didn't have stress about someone telling me off. I just felt freedom because I was around a family an environment where I was just generally looked after and they had my back. So that for me was the most powerful thing. That love and connection, not the significance that, oh, I'm this and I'm that. Normally people who have these titles, the CEO title, it makes you look like you're very popular and you've made it, or everyone has it as their Facebook job title. I'm a CEO, or I'm self-employed. That doesn't mean nothing. That's you trying to prove it to everybody else, but you're not truly who you are. But let's rewind a little. During the days where I was in school, I used to do a lot of charity work and voluntary work. And I know most of you guys probably won't agree with unpaid internships and things like that, but I'm going to be slightly controversial here. Unpaid internships are the most amazing thing ever. Because I spent 7 years doing voluntary work. I used to write school just to do voluntary work. That's how much I enjoyed voluntary work. Because the skills that you pick up, the ability that you have to learn new skills, acquire new skills is what's important. You can learn everything that's in a textbook all day long. You can consume all that information, but what matters in the real world is the skill set. Your ability to talk to someone, your ability to connect to someone, your ability to have someone's attention, understand what they're going through on an emotional basis, how they're feeling, what is it that they're thinking of next. That's what you need to think about. That's the skills that you need to acquire. That matters more than just the theory that you've learned in education, because in the real world it's totally different. So I was here to talk about social media and how you brand yourself on these platforms and etc. But before I go into that, I want people to understand that each and every one of you have a skill set that you don't realize. You have a value that you have, like a worth. People usually put a price tag on things. You have a value, and you're not just someone that's gonna go out there and work at 9 to 5. You're not just gonna go, just by being here on this evening, on this cold evening, tells me that you're committed to something. I don't know what it is you're committed to, but you're committed to something to learn about entrepreneurship. And that for me says it all, that you guys are the next generation. You guys can go out there and pitch for 35 grand at the age of, whatever age you guys are right now. Because at the age of 17, I pitched for a £35,000 contract to Sony Mobile. That wasn't because I had, I networked well. It wasn't because I grew up in a nice area. I actually grew up in one of the worst areas of the UK in Birmingham. I grew up in the highest crime rates, highest insurance rates area. But what I did was I took that ability, that skill, and I said, I believe in my skill set. I know what I'm good at. I'm going to go there and ask for what I want. But what everyone else will tell you is you need to go through a traditional route. But what entrepreneurs do, they break through. But first you need to understand that you need to find that skill set. What is your skill set? So how many people in here have a number one thing that everybody tells them, oh, you're great at this? I want you to shout out a few ideas.
Sales.
Sales, okay. What in particular in sales?
Well, I've worked at goldsmiths, so yes, luxury jewellery and watches. I've had a passion for it, so I've always been able to meeting new people, so it's always been good for me.
Do you know how much you can make in a day of jewellery by doing it yourself? Just by doing how I did the phone flip thing, how I did the phones and how I made that money. You could save that money, you could buy a few things, or you could buy your own gold that people put in garages and places like that, or you can buy them off eBay and you can go and sell them elsewhere. You can start your own marketplace. There's affiliate schemes that goldsmiths and all these companies do, where you direct customers to them and they'll pay you. There's new brands out there, like new watch brands out there that really need the sales support. But you say you pay me a commission on every watch I sell for you. You could build a whole Instagram profile around that, and you can go out there and make money from there. The thing is, making money is the easy bit. Making money is the easy bit. People have this limited belief in their head that we can't make money with the resources we have, with the skills we have. I didn't have a room like this when I started. If I had a room like this, I'll be filming, I'll be recording, I'll be doing all sorts. I'll be creating. You guys understand that social media better than everyone else. You guys know how to use it, but you guys are not looking at how you can use it to your advantage. You spend hours upon hours upon hours a day. You know how much I actually get business off Snapchat? People pay me on the back of me using my Snapchat. I get business, I get £1,000 client on the back of my Snapchat. I get £1,000 client on the back of my Instagram, and I get £1,000 on the back of my Facebook, and I make more money on Twitter. On my recruitment business for interns and graduates, we actually get most of our business on the back of Twitter. We live in a world where you guys have the ability, the charisma, the attention, the ability to use this platform so well that you guys can just go out there, put yourselves out there, allow you to be you, show your charisma, don't hold back. Show your charisma, show your personality, show who you truly are. You know how like guys and girls are like, they try to hide, they don't really are, they kind of put a mask on. Like when you're with your friends, like you two are friends, right?
No.
Okay, you just sit next to each other. Okay, never mind. That didn't work. But
We're friends.
that's a friend. Okay, you two are friends. Okay, brilliant. That's great.
Phrase just for that.
Yeah.
So you two are friends, right? So when the things that you talk about in like when you're not around everybody else are completely different and silly, right?
Yeah. So, what do you mean?
Yeah. So when you two are with each other, right?
Oh yeah, completely different.
Yeah. That's the personality that you guys have that you need to put out there. Because everybody's looking for things like that. You might think, yeah, people are going to call us weirdos, people are going to call us... But that's the cool stuff these days. Why do you think these vloggers have all this sort of like attention right now? Because they're just, whatever they spend their time on, they're just expressing themselves in a way which other people wish they could. Everybody has a unique personality that you guys can show on social media, which you are. Who's an introvert in this room? So there's about 5, 6 of you introverts. Okay. Introverts are actually better at selling in social media than people actually think. You know why? Because they're listeners. Social media isn't about you going out there and shouting out and promoting like club promoters do. They don't take a bottle and say, oh, come in and buy a drink. You know, it's 2 for £10 cocktails today. It doesn't work like that. What people do, what social media people, what introverts do, they listen. They'll go out and they'll ask a question and they'll sit there and they'll listen to you. They'll find out what you really want and then they'll say to you, okay, so I understood that you actually want a night out somewhere around here. I understood that you actually now, you're looking for something with a nice cocktail, something that's quite warm, nothing too loud, you want reggae music, you want certain types of music. Okay, I'm going to recommend you a really good place. That's what social media is. It's the ability to listen, find out what's going on around you, and then saying, okay, now I'm going to help you to get to what you need. Now I'm going to help you solve a problem. Now I'm going to help you direct you to where you want to go. And if you're that person in the middle, there's that opportunity to make money as an entrepreneur. It's that bit in the middle. You finding out what people want, finding out what the problem is, listening to them, asking the right questions, and then saying, okay, here's a solution for you. That's how business is done. Business is that simple. It's like you're going to have a toothache, right? You want to go to the dentist and you want to get it sorted straight away. You don't care how big that problem is, but you don't care what the price is, you don't care what's going on. But if you've got toothache, you want to solve it straight away. That's a problem. Now you're going to go pay this dentist, obviously. If you're in education, you sometimes might get it free. But when you get to that stage when you're employed and you're paying for your own dentistry, that's when the toothache, it doesn't matter how much it costs, you're just going to pay for it because you want to solve that problem. And you're not going to stop until you solve that problem. That's exactly the way you treat business. So when it comes to actually like taking your skills and putting them into a business, you gotta realize is, what is the container that I put this in? So, I go to a shop, I pick up this, and I pay £1 for it. How do you know, what does your skill look like? What is the problem that it solves, and what is the outcome that that person's gonna get? So what is the problem that it solves, and what is the outcome that someone's gonna get? And you need to package it up and say, okay, for £100, I'm gonna help you, manage your social media. I'm gonna help you design something. I'm gonna help you with your accounts because I'm a student, but I can't charge you that same amount, but I'm gonna do that for you. But this is what you get as part of the product. You can turn this service into a product all the time. It's how you package it. It's going to cost me £1, or if it's a service or a skill, it's going to cost you £100, and you're going to get this at the end. But this is a problem that I solve for you. That's where your business is started. That's how you package and take your talents into an actual business. Who here has a business idea at the minute? Anyone? Anyone got a business idea?
They do, I asked them earlier. I'm just very shy. Come on, guys.
Go on. Anyone? I'm just going to stand there, wait till someone puts their hand up. So you can...
People said stuff. You wanted weddings, someone with coffee clothes.
So the weddings, you want to do weddings, right? Okay. Okay, great. You're a wedding man. What I mean by packaging is you can take your wedding, you can say, I'll manage your wedding, it's going to cost you £1,000 for me to manage the project. But then, but here's the extra costs that are involved, like in terms of the venue's going to cost you this much, but you pay me £1,000 for that service. In terms of me making sure that you don't have to manage your whole wedding, you've got that headache of trying to run around. I'll do all the running around for you. It's fine. Pay me £1,000.
More.
Oh yeah, I like it. She wants more. You're undervaluing that.
Yeah. In the wedding planning industry, it's nothing. But you could ask for what you want. It depends how much you value your time. You can charge £100 an hour. You can charge £50 an hour. I charge between £500 to £10,000 a day sometimes for my services. It depends on how much confidence you have in what you charge. It varies. So this is what it comes down to. But what is it the package you offer? How can you sell it to someone? So if you're good at sales, who can you go and sell for, and how much are you going to charge them for each commission rate, or how much are you going to charge them per hour? How many new brands are starting up? How many new businesses that you see on Dragon's Den? How many new businesses are there on the internet? Instagram's an amazing place. Everyone's promoting their watches and their jewelry and everything else on there. New brands that are up and coming. So look, I'll sell it for you. It'll cost you this much. I want this much out of the sale, though.
You know how over the years now, it's kind of like social media is kind of like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Like, how do you kind of predict the future, and then where do you see it keep growing as well? Because like Facebook's been around for so long, it's well established. Same with Twitter now.
Yeah.
How do you see it
Never worry about the future. Focus on what's now. Instagram Live just came out last week. I think it was on a Wednesday. I was halfway through doing a tour when it came out, and I was like, okay, everyone focus on Instagram Live. But you gotta focus on what's there now. Don't worry about where the market is going. Your audience and your community needs to be, or the people that are following you, needs to be on every single platform. So you take them on Facebook, you add them on Instagram, you follow them on Twitter, you add them on Snapchat. All of those platforms are completely different messaging. You don't put the same stuff on there, but you need to make sure you have them across all of them, because if Facebook dies tomorrow, your business is dead, your community is dead, they're all done. You need to make sure they're on all the relevant platforms.
So do you target like different customer types on different social media platforms?
100%. But going into social media and how to brand yourself on social media, you gotta understand is, what is the area of specialism that I wanna go into? That is the number one question. What is the area of specialism? What is it that I want to be known for? Because when you know what you want to be known for, you could then put value into the market. You can start creating content. You can start putting pictures up. You can start creating videos. You can start talking about these things. you can start putting value out into the market. When you put value out there, it's obviously going to resonate with some people.
If you're trying to like promote like something that you're doing,
Yeah.
do you think it's actually worth the money? So obviously like Facebook and Instagram are doing like paid promotions. Do you think it's worth paying for those kind of things, or do you think you should try and start off without?
I think start off with that. You can use it, it is sometimes, you have to play around with it so you can target employees of companies, you can target certain demographics. The reality is you want a relationship with everyone.
Yeah.
You want a relationship with everyone you speak to. You don't have 10,000, you don't have to, you're not in any rush, like you don't have to make £10,000 overnight. So you don't have to go out there and spend money on us. Do everything as free as possible. Go into groups. There's tons of groups out there on Facebook. Tons of places where you can find people that resonate or have the same interests as you. And then you can start speaking to them and say, okay, I'm writing a blog post about for example, wedding planning. You can go to the wedding planning groups or you can go to the wedding groups and then you can start talking about, okay, how I planned my friend's wedding for the first time and how I felt. And you can document that journey. You can put pictures and you can put how you feel as a person on Facebook. On YouTube, you can create a whole vlog experience. On Snapchat, you can show the behind the scenes of how you actually, did the whole wedding. So the behind the scenes pictures, little 10-second snaps. On Instagram, you can put all the end product stuff, so the stuff that you did at the end. So each platform's different, but you could use that one experience, that one event, to document everything on each and every platform. But it's all about making sure that you're the go-to person in your industry. Your bio needs to say, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. I have, this is what are my interests, or this is the business that I'm creating, or here's the service, or here's the value that I offer.
And what do you think could give someone up and coming like the advantage over their competitors with something like that? Because surely there's going to be.
Go with price. You guys have got time on your hands. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just go in with price. Make as many mistakes as you can.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about you're not creating a perfect business to start with. I am only where I am today over my last 6 years of starting businesses, selling businesses, and failing businesses. I've only got through that. I only know what I know today is because of what I've been through. You guys need to make more mistakes and not be afraid of mistakes. When you trip and fall, someone laughs at you, right? You gotta use that as an experience and not say, okay, not be emotionally attached to that experience and say, what have I learned from that? I need better shoes once, first of all. Second of all, I need to watch where I'm going. So you need to learn from those experiences. The more you fail, the more you learn. Most successful entrepreneurs will tell you that it's not about your successes, it's about the failures that you've had. But your friends will laugh at you. That's why you care too much about what people think rather than what you're learning from that experience. That's where the wisdom comes in. That's where you learn life. That is what nobody else can teach you, what you learn. I can't teach you 6 years of stuff. It take me forever.
Do you not believe that like social media's like ruined the old-fashioned business model that like you have a relationship with your suppliers, which you face to face, them over
Great
social
question.
media, with the computer you're talking to.
Yeah, great question. And this is where you gotta adapt the old school with the new school. You gotta start the conversation online. You gotta build a relationship online. But you ultimately you want that coffee with that person. You want that call with that person. You want to take it offline as soon as you can. So here's a step-by-step guide as to how I get my clients from social media. So step number 1, you need to create value-driven content. You need to understand what is it that your customers care about and what is it that's going to be of value to them. And it has to involve emotion of some sort. Whether it's humor, whether it's the sad times, whether it's the really excited bits, or it's the tips on how you can do certain things. It could be an educational sort, but it all has to be emotional. That value that you put out there, they're all gonna like it, someone's gonna comment on it, and someone's gonna get involved in it. most people will never reply. Girls do this, especially on Instagram, it pisses me off. They never reply to the comments.
Slide into DMs.
Yeah, you guys are getting there. You gotta be aware. No, you don't slide in the DM straight away. You gotta be strategic with that one.
Listen up, Matt.
So you guys, ladies, you guys need to reply to the comments. Every person who comments, you need to like and reply to them. That actually boosts your Instagram. It actually gets you onto the search bar of the actual Instagram. But you guys never reply back, so I'm like, alright, cool.
Sorry.
But then, what I will always do is I'll always DM afterwards. But I'll comment first, and then I'll DM after. Some people slide straight into the DM. It's not about that.
You don't spam them, give them a few spams and go.
Nah.
Like a picture
You don't go liking all their pictures from the last 10 years, that's just freaky.
That's just his approach.
Maybe some people know each other.
You know we said about sliding into the DMs.
Yeah.
So you know you said like
Like a pudding class.
you know you said like people pay you to advertise on your Snapchat. Do you approach people? Do people approach you?
You need to have a community that's specific first. You need to focus on creating enough value so you've got enough people that are relevant in the industry, and then start going to their brands. You can start approaching brands. People will come to you anyway, but you can approach. It's up to you.
Okay.
But going back to what I was saying when I was about sliding into DMs, even when you slide into DMs, what you want to use this rule, and I've had it. It's give, ask rule, otherwise known as jab, right hook. So this is where you actually you need to provide value 3 times, or you need to make them feel good at least 3 times before you ask them for something. So you're not going to go in and ask for the number straight away. What you're going to do is you're going to go there and compliment them. You're going to say, okay, I love what you're doing, I really like this, I would love to kind of have a chat with you, get to know you a little more. And then, what are you doing tomorrow? Or how's your day going? You ask for a question. In the business sense, it's a bit different. So what I would say is, hi, I love what you're doing. Would love to add value to you in some way. Are you doing anything around whatever your niche is, or whatever your interest is? Let me know. Let's connect tomorrow. Have an awesome day. What you've done is you first praise them for who they are, for what their profile is. You then said, okay, this isn't about me, this is about you. And then you said, okay, are you doing anything around this? You're trying to engage with them. You're asking them a question. And then, and then you say, okay, let's connect soon, you're leaving it there. If you do that with all the people, your suppliers, your people that you're targeting, it will work. You will get some replies. Same with Twitter, or same with anything else. With Twitter in particular, the search bar is the most powerful thing. So if you go into this, for example yourself, you go into the search bar on Twitter, type in #weddings, find out all the people who have up and coming weddings coming up or tweeting about their weddings, reply back to them and say, okay, oh, great to hear about your wedding. When are you, what's the timeline of your wedding? Oh, what do you have planned for it? How exciting, congratulations. Make them feel good, make them feel like you're actually listening to them.
Or is it easier to do the elevator pitch in social media or rather than face to face?
Sorry, it's like me going up to, from more relationship perspective, it's like me going up to a girl and sliding her DMs and asking her to have sex with me straight away. It doesn't work. You need to build that relationship with that person. You need to have a few conversations, you need to go out on a date, you need to take out for dinner, or whatever you guys do these days. And you need to and then you need to eventually ask them out, and you need to get to know them for 3 to 6 months, and then you get them possibly to marry you if you're lucky enough.
What if you live together? Is that like a sped up process? Asking for a friend?
Yeah, good luck with expectations on that one.
You
Don't
can
worry.
expand into dating advice as well. Dating coach. Your
It's
next-
I'm not a dating coach.
It's too late. You already started.
No, I just compare
Yeah.
I just compare sales to actually dating. It's
They
actually very
literally
similar.
need all the help they can
So
get.
what do you
carry
advise
on.
now?
Yeah,
What should our
feel
friend
free.
do?
What?
You are the friend.
Oh, I think you're losing. You're losing.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Rated. Jackson Park.
Oh, Jackson Potts.
Yeah.
That guy's a legend. So this guy that we know that we work quite closely with, he spends 2 hours.
What was his occupation first of all?
He's a consultant that was selling health products or something.
No, he was working in a factory.
Oh, was
He
he?
works in a factory. He drove a forklift truck. He was
You
personal
work with him?
personal trainer
So
and clients. That was it.
Yeah, so he actually was worked in a factory, and he used to, that's all he used to do. And he used to go home and he used to spend 2 hours on his computer games, or probably watching porn, I don't know what else he was doing. But those 2 hours, so I'm quite controversial. So those 2 hours that he spent playing video games or watching movies, he replaced them with actually making friends on social media. So every day you spend 2 hours every evening just making friends on social media. Just speaking to people, showing their interest, making them feel good, making them feel amazing, finding out what they're about, what their dreams are, what their goals are.
How long did you do that for?
No,
For 15 months.
about 15 months.
And at the end of 15 months, he was making $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he had relationships with people. That's how important it is. So when the next time someone adds you on Facebook or adds you on Snapchat or whatever it is, send them a personalized video. So here's what I do. You know my battery's dead. Hi, nice to meet you. I really love your profile. Looking forward to connect with you very soon. Take care. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, well, bye-bye. But just it's that personalized message, because anyone can text. You can copy and paste the same text. I know you guys probably do this in the back. You guys probably copy and paste the same text to every other girl, right?
We've actually done that.
There you go. So rather than doing that, send them a personalized video. Mention their name or send them a sound clip. Or send them a video saying, hi, your name, whatever the person's name is, boy or girl, depending on where you swing. So once you've said the name, just say hi to them. Say, we'd love to have a chat. I love what you're doing on your profile. Let's have a chat and catch up soon. Looking forward to having something there. And I built my friends list to, you've got a 5,000 limit friends list on Facebook. But those 5,000 people, you need to get to know them. I go into groups, I add randoms, we all add randoms. And then you go into groups and you create videos, you allow people to resonate with your content. So anybody who likes your status, comments on your status, they're a potential for you. I don't know if it's dating potential, business potential, customer potential, not always. So this is where anyone who comments, likes, you've got an opportunity for you to connect with them. An opportunity to have a conversation with them about business, about what they're doing with their life, about anything. This is a 4 rule. So family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Always take it in that order. Find out what their family life's like, find out what their occupation is, find out what their habits are, their hobbies, and then find out what their dreams are. That's your way of getting to know someone. So when you get to know someone, you can then actually find out what their problems are. They're a bit more open to you. You can probably get a phone number by the hand, or you can probably call them directly off Snapchat, whatever it is. They'll be more comfortable in talking to you. But you need to build that relationship beforehand. And when it comes to branding yourself on social media, you guys need to put out content every day. You guys spend 4 to 5 hours on social media. You guys need to put content all the time. Whether it's videos, if you're not comfortable with videos, get comfortable with them, because that's where the attention is right now. If you're not comfortable, start writing blogs on LinkedIn, posting them on Twitter. There's so many different tools and strategies. I can talk all day long about those. But the point is, treat it like it's a relationship. Never go in with the end goal in mind. Never think that you're going to go there just to sell to them, because people can tell that you're trying to sell to them. They'll pick up on your body language, they'll pick up on how you're slowing down and how you're structuring. They'll see all the signs that you're trying to sell them and you're coming from a place of desperation. It's like when a guy's too desperate. You can tell, right?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, right? So this is where you need to come from a place of, I just want to get to know you. I don't really care if you message me back or not, but I just want to get to know you. It's like, I'm good, whether you reply to me, it doesn't matter to me. No, I don't care either way.
Play it cool.
Yeah, basically. So that's where the whole sort of like social media comes in. That's how you use social media. How to put yourself on social media is you need to start talking to experts. Every one of you guys has an opportunity to connect with a mentor. Mentors are powerful. I've got 6 or 7 mentors right now. Wedding agency. You need to talk to the best person who's built a wedding agency for years and years. They don't mind offering you some help. Say, I want to go into wedding planning. I would love for you to mentor me. And I have that conversation on my social media. I then have that coffee. They'll give me a free hour of their advice. I won't go in and say, oh, I'm this and I'm that. Say, play it cool like you're nobody. So like, oh, I'm just here for your advice. I'd love to have a catch up over coffee with you. And I just want to get your advice on a few things. That's the way. Like I sell to corporate firms, not by, because I had the age barrier, what I did was, I actually went to the top guys at corporates and said, okay, I need your advice. I am doing a project on this, or I'm looking to sell to these sort of businesses. I would really love your help. And these corporate directors will then come and have a coffee with you because it makes them feel good. You kind of feel their ego a bit. And then it makes them feel good and you can get that conversation with them. But when you're telling them what your plans are or what your business is, what that does, it also makes them know that you're actually doing this. So they will think of you first when it comes to it. So, oh, I know a person that does this. They've just started, but they'll do it. But you're kind of selling them without selling them. You're telling them what you do without telling them, this is what I do and I'm trying to sell to you. You're kind of going in there with advice. And they're like, oh, okay, you should speak to this person. They open all your doors for you. So my first mentor was, I was in my marketing agency, so I was trying to sell to corporate firms. And I went to the marketing director of PwC. Or I went to a couple of mentors on social media that were higher marketing. And I said, hi, I would love to, really need your advice. I want to get into the marketing industry right now. We'll really have a chance to have a catch up over a call, or a coffee, or I'll buy you a coffee or whatever it is. And that's an opportunity for you to really pick their brains. Have mentors in different places. Have a mentor for marketing, have a mentor for like your in terms of your finances side of things, have a mentor for like the high-end audience, like in terms of the corporate audience that you might want to target, or have a mentor for each and everything. It's about the people that you surround yourself with. James, how many business coaches do you have right now?
Maybe about 8 or 9.
8 or 9?
No, is business specifically or mentors?
Well, just generally mentors.
In about 8 or 9.
8 or 9 mentors.
Different areas, business,
finance, relationships, things like that.
Also.
You can have a mentor for everything. And guys, don't be afraid of having a mentor in relationships.
And they kick my ass, I don't like talking.
Yeah.
No,
but
because if things are going well, they don't call me. If they call me, I fucked up.
And that's what it is. Mentors are not there to be nice to you. They
No.
they're there to tell you the truth. They're there to tell you, like, I tell my people I mentor, would you want me to be nice to you, or do you want me to get you results? Do you want to pick up girls, or do you want to stay single for the rest of your life? It's two sides. So that's the thing that people don't actually go out and do. If you're looking for a mentor, make sure that person is harsh to you. And you gotta not get emotional about it. Say, this is about my progress, this is about my success, this is about my future. I need to take this, understand what they're trying to tell me, process it in my head, and then go and do it. And regardless of your age, you can go out there and you will, as long as you implement, as long as you execute, it doesn't matter whether you fail or whether you win. You guys have time to make mistakes. I made tons of mistakes. I pissed a lot of people off. I'm not lying. I remember walking in and pitching for like a 50 grand contract, and this guy's like, who the flip are you? You literally said, like, who the hell are you? Where did you come from? Why are you pitching me for 50 grand? And I was like 18. So I was this like egotistical guy, had a big beard. Some people won't remember this, but I had a big beard, long hair, and a bright blue suit. So I stood out like freaking crazy. You can get away with that when you're at the age you're at, but after a time you can't, so that's why after people just more corporate. But when you first start off, you want to be crazy as possible, because what you want is attention. Attention is what matters. Why do you think, Donald Trump, he won his election on Twitter. But why do you think girls dress up? Because they want attention. And I hate it when they say, oh, I dress up to look good and make myself feel good. Yes, that is a part of it, but partly, heels are not actually comfortable. Heels are not actually comfortable. So I don't know what women actually wear to get attention, so that's the end of the story.
I hope you get it.
Might get feminism.
Yeah, I want to get shot like But here's the thing, like, you generally want the attention of an audience. You want to be known for something. So when I used to dress in this really bright blue suit, it's actually the color of these shirts. Probably, yes, it's probably even like, I had a baby blue one and I had a color of that as well. And I used to go out there and I used to really be like, who's this guy in the blue suit that's walking around? I used to get stopped in the street and people take pictures of me, that was fun. But on the other flip side, when I used to go to networking events, everyone's wearing black and grey suits. Everybody's wearing typical professional clothes, and you don't really remember who's in the room. But what you will remember is the guy in the blue suit that stood out. So when I used to email them or when I used to collect their business cards, I used to tweet them, I used to send them an email saying, the guy in the blue suit. That was my subject line. But that was powerful because they opened it because they remember who it was. If they don't remember you, then how are they supposed to contact you? Or they think you're a spamming person that's sending a spammy email. But that's the logic behind it. So going back to like the process of how you kind of get to that point where you're actually getting the sale or getting the appointment or getting that coffee with someone. You want to generally, what you need to do is build that relationship. So once you've actually messaged them or slided into DMs, you want to continue actually liking their pictures, commenting on their pictures, still making them feel good, letting them know that you're still here and you're still around. Women like consistency. So it's the same in business, you need to be consistent. So you need to comment on their pictures, you need to make them feel good, you need to continue praising them. And then you go back into the DM and you say, hey, I noticed that you've just gone on holiday. How was the holiday? Oh, sorry about the car crash. Or whatever it is. I know car crash was a bit extreme.
Yeah.
It's only that to think of. That's only that to think of right now. So once you've got something to talk about when you're talking to them. So you go back into the DMs afterwards. And that's when you actually build a relationship. But what you want to do is say, look, I don't have much time today, but it'd be great to have a call tomorrow. It'd be great to have a proper chat tomorrow. Are you free at 9 o'clock or whatever it is? Are you free in the evening? Are you free in the afternoon during lunch break? When are you free? It'd be great to have a chat over call. And that's when you schedule the actual appointment. It makes it more official. In business especially. It makes it more like, oh, I'm now speaking to this person at a particular time. Because you've built the relationship, you've messaged them once or twice, you're not a complete stranger asking for their number, you've had a few chats with them, you've made them feel good, you're getting to know them a bit more, and now you're actually like asking for a number or asking a chance to have a call. But on that call, you don't want to do the talking. This is the number one thing that guys do wrong on dates as well. They do all the freaking talking. What you guys want to actually do is actually go up to women and actually ask all the questions. Let women do all the talking. Women love talking. How was your evening? Oh, what are you wearing for prom dress? Or what are you thinking of wearing for your dress for Friday night? And they will talk about, oh, I'm thinking about wearing these heels. I don't know about this dress. Oh, have you seen this dress I'm wearing as well? I don't know about that one. But they'll automatically start talking. But you need to ask them questions. So the first 45 minutes of that hour conversation, you need to ask them conversations and get to know them. That's where the power is. It's that in that conversation of getting to know them, getting enough out of them as you possibly can. After you've done that, you then want to say, okay, so based on what you've said, you've pretty much got, like this is what you've got planned, or this is what you're looking to do, or this is from my understanding, this is what you want in life. Okay, so here's what I do for my clients. I solve for them 2 problems. You're now giving people a power of choice. You're giving people a choice now. It's not yes or no, it's would you like to have a coffee or would you like to go for a dinner date? There's no would you like to meet up. It's going to be a no, of course. If you say would you like a dinner or a coffee, you give people a choice. And that's quite powerful when you give people that choice. There was I've got a problem, I've got 2 problems. Here's what I solve for my clients. So for example, it'll be like taking the stress away from them, or having to kind of, okay, I'll manage all your costs and finances, so you don't, and I'll tell you, I'll cost it all up for you. So they're running around like headless chickens, and they don't have the time because it's in short. So I solve those 2 problems for my clients. And they'll automatically respond to you and say, yeah, that's definitely me. Okay, brilliant. I can give you a few tips right now, but if you really want to really experience like me solving this problem for you, here's what I do. You've not gone in and sold them to them straight away. It's not about selling. You've gone and got to know the person, you've built the relationship, you've got to find out the problems they're facing, and you've presented them with the problems. They now know that they've got a problem, and then you said, here's my solution. Here's my solution. And that's when you say, okay, brilliant. It'd be great to meet up and finalize the details, or here's my invoice, or here's my details for you, or here's my breakdown of my product or service. That's when you start talking about your business. You don't start talking about your business straight away when you first jump into the messaging. You tell them about your product at the end. Once you got to know it, people always come first, not the end goal, not the sale in mind. That's how you need to sell. And same with your audience. So if you're creating content, if you're looking to become a vlogger, if you're going to do any of that sort, you want to create enough valuable content, but not ask people for anything. Yeah, you can ask people to like and share your stuff, that's probably nice, but until you come out with a product of your own, you keep providing value, keep providing value, keep providing value. Why do you think YouTubers, successful YouTubers, they actually create content for a whole year, and then they get loads of subscribers, and then they say, okay, I'm releasing a new product. Or I'm releasing this, or I'm releasing that. They've given value, they've created an audience and a community for them for as long as possible before they even think about, selling them something. That's powerful. That's what real content creators, that's what real sellers do. Even in your Facebook, like right now, if you're not using pages, if you don't want to use ads, if you don't have the money for ads, get people into groups. Find out what people are interested in. And if they've got all that the same interests, put them into one group and do Facebook Lives within the group. Live stream is quite powerful right now. So start doing videos, creating content, mix it up a bit. But always ask the audience what they want. What do you want more of? Do you want more videos? Do you want more live videos? Do you want more pictures? Do you want more discussions? What do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about this, or this? You want the audience to tell you what they want. That's the way you then create tailored content for them and then say, okay, here's my tailored content. But in business, you need to make sure you're on social media and you're constantly talking to people. One of the other things I find quite powerful is, these loads of events that are happening. Like these, in your industry, there'll be award ceremonies and there'll be certain things that are going on in the industry. You need to go and find out, okay, I need to speak to, or they usually have a hashtag for the event. You can't make it to that event because they usually charge a whack for those events in the first place. But they'll have an event, that hashtag. Or they'll have loads of coffee events. There's loads of like biz hours, like hashtag crafty hour. There's like 1 p.m. lunch. There's loads of hours where people come and network on Twitter. You can get involved in those discussions and get to know people. If it's a live event that's happening, great, tweet about it. Search the hashtag in the Twitter bar and actually then start engaging with those people, start replying to those people, get to know those people. because that's your target audience. You're speaking directly to your customers. You're speaking directly to the people that have same interest to you. Like, would you go out with someone that's got no interest with you? Not even a single thing. Not even a single interest at all. No, you wouldn't. So why are you doing it in business? It's about finding common interests with that person to then, so they can relate to each other, so you can create a conversation, so it feels like you've known each other forever because you have got a common interest. And then, when it comes to social media and how many people actually don't want to become an entrepreneur here? How many people actually want a job on using social media?
We're in PR, so.
Oh, you're in PR?
Yeah.
You want to work as freelance or do you want to do agency work? You're not sure yet?
To explore it first.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to explore it? What I would do is, I'll try and build my portfolio as much as I can right now. So I would organize as many events in my spare curricular time, to organize events for my local community, organize events for my local salon and say, I'll bring you customers. I'm just looking to build my portfolio right now, and I'll do as many PR events. I'll reach out to newspapers. I'll start building relationships on Twitter with PR. There's actually a PR request. I don't know if you've heard about it. So PR request and journal request, JOURNO, are actually what journalists use on Twitter to say, we're looking for people with this sort of newspaper, we're looking for people with an interesting story, they usually send us some crazy ones. So you can find out who's tweeting those journalist requests or PR requests out, and you can build a relationship with the actual journalists and the press themselves. And you want to have that relationship with them, so when you start your work, or when you start doing it for other businesses, or when you start being freelance and start charging for it, you can then say, okay, I've got an interesting story, would you like to hear about it? Here's a catchline, here's a press release for it, or here's an event that they're doing, I need to get people into that, And same if you're doing events management as part of the PR, you want to use Twitter and the search bar, same with Instagram search bar, same with Facebook search bar, as a way to find out who's interested in your type of event, and speak to them and say, we've got an amazing event coming along, would you like to come along to it? So always use the search up. It's about listening more than actually speaking. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm going to finish my talk there. But what I'm going to try to do in the next 5 or 10 minutes is I'm going to answer enough questions as I possibly can. So if you guys have any questions, that would be great.
Do you think people, entrepreneurs now are more upper hand compared to older people, say, because we're more used to social media, being brought up with it, compared to people like my dad, for example, has got a business but he knows nothing about social media. He's hopeless with it. Do you think people now aspiring to entrepreneurs have more of an advantage over people?
Of course.
Who say?
Of course, but here's what you gotta understand: things still happen offline. Not everything happens online. You can't focus your 100% attention on social media. You need to still. Your dad still has a business that still has a network of people that he personally knows. Social media, yes, it's a powerful tool. Yes, you can't ignore it. Yes, you've got a much bigger advantage, but you still can't ignore the offline skills that you want to learn, which is building relationships with people face to face.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird question, but you're saying about this relationship stuff and talking to people. If you want to go into some form of social media management, do you think it's okay for on your blog posts and stuff to be quite personal? If you then want to represent somebody else, do you think, as in applying for jobs and stuff, I often put my blog post in there. Do you think that that's actually a risk?
No, I think that's a huge advantage. Here's the thing when it comes to applying for jobs as well. I used to send them videos. I send them the work I've done. I run a recruitment company. I actually say to you, go to the top 50 agencies in London. Go onto their website, find out who works for them, and literally send out all their directors an email. CC them all in an email and say, okay, this is what I do, this is what I am, this is a bit of my portfolio. Can I come in for an interview? Or can I come in and do some experience with you guys? And one of the directors will always reply and say, I like the confidence of this person, let's get them in. That works at Charm. You can get a job in 60 days. just by doing that. Rather than applying and sitting on applying job sites. Job sites don't work anymore. But you need to actually go and target these companies, otherwise you're not
Yeah.
going to get them.
Yeah.
Oh, anything else?
Sorry, I'm just, it may be a bit weird question as well, but I'm just thinking about that Donald Trump that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, what sort of power does it have, in your opinion, that, you know, I just have a personal problem
Okay,
with the
that's
fact
fine.
that, you know, some people on social media are just so, excuse my language, so full of shit. You know, Donald Trump is like ahead of them all. And I just,
Okay.
I guess I'm just trying to
That's fine,
ask,
that's fine.
you know, like
That's a good
how is it possible to like build a business around the actual product and not putting your face?
Oh,
all
so
the
you want to
time
build
there?
a business
No, I
without...
just, I don't know, I'm just a little bit of 1984 freak, you know, I'm like,
Oh,
I just
okay,
think
I
that
understand.
people are putting themselves out there all the time, and sometimes, I don't know, I just don't think that it's that a good thing, you know, and people
Yes.
are just talking
I think
about
it's
it way too
important
much, I think.
to... What you got to realize about Trump is, he actually isn't a bad guy. He put out the controversial stuff because he wanted attention. He knew that the press are looking for controversial stuff. He knew people like controversial stuff. That's why he's went and said everything to anyone and just cussed everything and did everything on Twitter. That's what got him attention. That's what got him retweets. That's what got him... It's like funny stuff. It's like who watches Lad Bible on Facebook videos? People like that because it's funny, it's hilarious, it's controversial at times, and it's a bit racist as well.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he's not an idiot.
He probably is an idiot. I'm not going to judge him for it. But I don't like him either. He probably is an idiot, but it doesn't matter. The fact that he's getting attention is what's going to make him win.
Well,
Yeah,
why?
but I like, in terms of entrepreneurship, like, to what point is important that what you do is actually good? You know, I just
Oh,
feel
100%.
like lots of people are just
Yeah.
purely selfish and they put whatever it takes to gain that attention.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's not right.
Of course, 100%. You have to be authentic and genuine. You have to be nice to people. There's a certain limit of banter and there's a certain amount of controversial you do to get attention to your content. But most of the time, you generally have to be someone that's a nice person, generally authentic, and generally that's a person who cares about his audience.
Can I answer that question?
It's harder to do, yeah. It's harder to get attention that way, but it's actually, it's better.
So you're asking about. Repeat the question again, sir.
I'm not even sure what my question
So
was.
basically-
She went from Trump to like,
No, so basically
using a
there's
personal
things
brand.
out there where you're putting the face out, you're putting yourself out there, and some people behave a certain way which you don't feel appropriate, right? It doesn't.
I guess so.
Yeah. So why does that bother you? Because this is business, it's not personal. Why does it bother you?
Yeah, exactly, but like entrepreneurship is very personal. It's very personal business.
Sure.
So that's kind of the clash that I'm talking about. You know,
Okay.
people are putting
So,
themselves out
so
there.
here's the thing. So for quickly, and this is what we're taught as well. Because growing up, being in university, being in school, being in education, we're always conditioned. We're conditioned to see the world the way we want it to be, the way we think it should be, not the way it really is. And that's where there's true power. It's lack of judgment. And that's what I do coaching my people, because there's no right, there's no wrong. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no positive, there's no negative. It's just what's required to get to the next level. And we see the world the way we think it should be. I'll give you an example. This is a real life scenario. There was a car accident and 35 eyewitnesses. Each eyewitness gave their account to the police. Now, not a single one of them matched, not a single one of them collaborated, yet each and every single one of them was correct. How is that possible? Each person had a different position, a different perspective, a unique way they saw it, and they had their own emotional filters. Much in the same way you can have someone at the top of the mountain, someone at the bottom of the mountain, looking at the exact same object and distance at the exact same point in time, yet they may not see it the same. The person at the bottom, their vision might be blocked and skewed by the branches, the trees. The person at the top, their vision might be blocked by the clouds. But whether they can see the object or not does not alter the fact that the object still remains. And the biggest reason why entrepreneurs fail is because they get too emotionally attached to what they're doing. It's not about being personal. I coach entrepreneurs, corporates, business owners And the biggest problem they have is they treat it like their baby. Now, how can I go to a young child and tell her that, to a young mother and tell her that a child's ugly? But that's what it is. When people run a business, it's like their baby. But we become so emotional. And I know because I've had plenty of failed businesses. I failed because I didn't see what was there. I saw what I wanted to see. And that's the most difficult thing for all entrepreneurs. And that's why we fail.
But then again, you said that you've got to love what you do.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
So,
There's a
there's
difference.
bullshit people out there, but
Yeah.
like,
There's a difference
if you
between
don't know
loving
yourself,
and
if you don't love your product, people will smell it. And yes, some people get shit, but they're idiots. But, you
That
know,
will always be
genuinely-
the case. People will always know that there's a
But
bad
there's great
product out
questions
there.
asked. Right questions.
It's a bit confusing because we didn't really know what your question was, but I think it's important that, you still have a good product. Yes, you still need to be a nice person. Yes, you still need to have a business and a brand, but again, it's going to what he said. You need to take the emotion away from it and see what gets attention towards your business. Doing it the easy way by being nice to everyone, it's like the nice guy, right? He's nice to everyone, but he doesn't get anywhere. Same sort of scenario. When someone's too nice, it takes you much longer to build that or to get to in someone's good books or to find someone that's attractive. Guys never go for the nice guy first time around. They'll probably think of it after 100th time, but after the first time around, they never go for it. It's the same sort of scenario in business.
This is not
If
work
you're-
for you.
Well, yeah, it doesn't work for me. Me being the nice guy has not worked. But me being it's actually quite attractive, isn't it? So that's the same thing in business as well. That's why Trump won the election. So that's
He's about
cool. You go back?
Just following on to that though, wouldn't you need an emotional attach to get the drive? Like if you're
Sure.
you just want it for the money, or when it goes bad you leave
You
it.
can never chase the money, because the money is basically, if you're chasing after money, all you're going to do is want the money. You're never going to actually look at the business side of it. You're never going to think about your customer. You need to put yourself in your customer's shoes and not worry about the money. You need to think about the market and not the business that you're trying to build.
With like the emotional attach to your business, like if it's going down under, everyone's telling you you're gonna fail.
So what? Okay, scrap it, change it. If it's failing, it's failing. Look at the facts and figures. Look at what's right. If your business is failing, if you're not making money, there's something wrong there. There's something that needs to change. You need to be open to change, but you need the right people around you that will tell you, here's the right way to go. But most people are willing to listen and say, okay, I'm going to take the advice on board, I'm going to try this. Well, I'm going to try and educate myself on what's the right thing to do. But if you're not making money, and if you're failing, then there's something obviously wrong. And that's what you need to change.
But the questions you're asking are good questions. What was the title of the talk tonight? Social media.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah, and see this thing with entrepreneurship, it's not one thing. It's a culmination of different facets, different areas, and it all comes together. And it's mastering different facets. Obviously, the questions that you ask are very important, but it leads on a different topic. We could be here all night long.
We could be here all night long
Yeah.
because everything just connects.
But they're
one way
great
or
questions, and they're important ones as well.
another. Yeah. You know?
You go, mate.
But it does not always require that you have to love the product that you do.
Why not?
Why not?
What if I wanted to become a drug dealer? To become a successful drug dealer, I shouldn't love coke.
What happens when you?
That's actually not
Good
an
example.
What if I want to become a drug dealer, a drug lord?
Do you want to
something
become
like
a
that?
drug
If you
dealer?
loved it, you would sell it better to
Bit
the
of advice,
person.
don't do
You
that.
Yeah, like if I wanted to sell it, I shouldn't do coke to succeed in that business.
It's okay. I'm going to go controversial again.
Wait, that's all about entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurship as well.
True.
Yeah.
Drug dealers are some of the best
Of course.
entrepreneurs.
So,
Yeah.
okay, drug dealers are great at selling. That I respect, but they know their product inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how?
And they've smoked their shit, so they know
None of that, but
No, a lot.
That's the reality. They've smoked some before they know.
No, like Pablo Escobar never did coke
But
ever in
he
his
knew
life.
about it.
He knew
That's
about
why
the
he
business.
succeeded. That's why he was one of
He
the
knew
biggest
about
drug lords in the world.
What about pimps then? Like pimps can't sleep with their
Yeah, this is about drug dealers. I think it's okay. Yes, it has an element to it. Yes, you have there's no right or wrong answer in entrepreneurship. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you my opinion. Yes, it's important to love the business that you have. if you know your product, if you know your market, you can build a business. But when you love your product, or when you actually genuinely love what you do, you're generally going to be more passionate about it, and secondly, you're less likely to sell it, and you're most likely to grow the business, and you're more likely to care about the people. That's what matters more.
But are you saying that entrepreneurs make more money than drug dealers? No, that's impossible.
That's a bit of a silly question, though. Because it depends. What do you want to do?
Gates, yeah, but if you see, if you look at it from another point of view,
If you want to take a risk, what do you do?
was richer than
Gambling,
Bill
gaming,
Gates.
I know the local
Abdul,
town sells fucking
we need
things
to
like
get going
50
as well,
euros.
come on.
I don't care anything.
But it's a silly question, I'm just not going to answer it.
It's actually gambling, gaming, and sex. They're the top three. Drugs
Yeah.
aren't in them. I used to do a lot of drugs. Gambling, gaming, and sex are the big money makers.
Yeah, but again, if you want to build a brand, are you building the right brand for yourself? Do you want to look cool and have everyone shooting after you? Or do you want to actually have a respectful business? Or do you want to have other gangs chasing you and other people actually hating you for what you do? That's the risk that you've got to be willing to look at.
To be honest.
Yeah.
More relating back to social media, with the old saying like no publicity is bad publicity, isn't that like just, it can't be true, surely?
That is true.
That is true to a certain. That's why
Because
some
if you're
people-
getting, as a restaurant for example, say like you're getting bad reviews, but you're putting up like food poisoning, that's not going to benefit you anyway, surely.
Here's the thing, when it comes to when it comes to food stuff, when it comes to those things, yes, it's important to manage your reputation, but one thing you gotta realize, when I tell something about, if I told you something about him, you're gonna want to find out for yourself. So you're gonna go and speak to him, or you're gonna speak to a few other people to validate that. You're not just gonna get your opinion from one person. When you put up a status, oh, I'm in this part of London, hey, what's my favorite restaurant? You're generally gonna ask a few more people before, okay, what's your take on this restaurant? You're generally gonna ask a few more people before you actually find out what the facts and because one person is just an opinion. It might just be a bad day he's having.
Is that, do you reckon that statement is true then, like no publicity is bad publicity?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
That's how PR wins. That's what PR wins all day long. That's what PR guys do all day long.
We've got three doctors.
Why do you think all the bad stuff is on, all the negative stuff is on social media, all the negative stuff makes the news. You know the good stuff does.
Look at Justin Bieber.
Yeah, every time
How he turned himself round.
the car thing, I don't know what happened there.
Pissed on this.
But cool. Any last, I want to take two more questions. So that's about it. Anyone ask any more questions?
How many messages do you send a day? How many conversations do you have a day?
I probably send between 20 and 50 messages a day. And I probably end up having 5 to 6 phone calls a day, which probably result in 5 to 10 coffees a week, which gets me 5 to 10 clients a week. My conversion is quite high, which is because of the social media relationship, you get those all times. But on average, you need to be messaging at least 25 to 30 people a day. Guys are a bit more persistent, they'll message probably 100 a day, it's just not doing it right. So,
Okay. Thank you.
and last one.
What's the best way to find a mentor?
Again, you can do it in a number of ways. You can go and find out what events are happening in your industry, or you can actually go online and look at, use the search bar who's talking about the business that you want to be in, or the audience, or the market, or whatever sector you want to be in, and just ask people.
Ask Abdul.
Yeah.
I'm stalking him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what But generally, you need to just ask them. You say, look, I'm just someone here that's looking for advice. It would be great to have an hour call with you at some point. And that's how I got most of my meetings earlier on. It wasn't because I knew I was young. I knew that it wasn't going to be an advantage for me to start with anyway, because I'm going after like professional services. So I had to actually go in there with a subtle way and say, oh, I would love your advice. I need your coffee for an hour. People love giving back. People will always give back. They'll always give you an hour at a time. Just need to work around them. No?
One last one. How long have you been like doing speeches to people? How many unis have you been to around the country?
I don't know, don't look at me.
I've been doing public speaking for 6 years, so I've probably done about 15 unis, about 20, 30 schools. I do a lot. I used to run a business in the personal development industry where actually Susan, where I met Susan, and Susan was one of my
Put on a
clients.
stage at a young age?
Yeah, my dad forced me
Yeah.
on stage at a young age.
Yeah.
I used to do like religious speaking and stuff, which was really fun, but I got forced to do it. But either way,
But
that
you
put me
prefer
on
the
a-
relationship then?
Yeah, but that put me on a public speaking. It was confidence. It was I voted myself in for a lot of stuff that I didn't like doing. It's about getting yourself out of your comfort zone. If you're not great at public speaking, then you need to put yourself on more platforms where you're doing more public speaking. You need to speak in front of more audience. You need to do more presentations. You need to be more comfortable in the classroom as well. But the more you put yourself out there, the more you do things that you don't want to do, the more wider your experience is, and the more better you'll be at connecting with people. It's like in uni, you only know about your certain topic, but if you actually, when you're connecting with people, you need to know about general stuff as well. You need to know about football, you need to know about Formula 1, you need to know about certain holiday destinations, because when you're talking to people, that's what matters, it's their interests. You need to have a bit of general knowledge in there as well. Is that up?
Yeah.
Cool. That is all from me. I do apologize for the dating and sex.
You've helped many people.
That was really great. I think that was really beneficial for all of you. I could even see some people taking notes. You should all be taking notes. That was great. Thank you to Abdul.